Hey guys, I want to give you some inside information on the government shutdown. Again, this is going to go back, um, it's tied to the history of these families, and they're not being in agreements to certain things. Um, they're trying not to break certain treaties, so they take this time when they cannot agree on certain things. And again, just look at this as like families within families having subtle disputes on certain agendas that they want both sides, the Luciferians, which is the Atlanteans, and that they represent the Republican, and the Cabal. The Cabal are the Dracos, and they are like the reptilians, and they represent the Democrats, the blue bloods. So they can't right out just destroy each other. And these particular ones, they especially like the reptilians that's here, they they don't take like all the orders from the Dracos, because the Dracos, they can't be here, but they have like certain, because they're reptilians, they try to appease the Dracos, which are from the Draco star system, but they don't like getting pushed around by the Dracos. So they make certain agreements. Well, the Luciferians, which is the Republicans, they don't like having to appease the Democrats or the Dracos or the reptilians, the blue bloods. They don't like having to do that, but they do make some agreements to not break certain uh, treaties. And again, all of this stuff is handed down because they both have seats up there on the moon, and then they bring the more human element down here, and it gets funneled down. It gets funneled down from the moon, which they have the seats up there. They have a Democrat uh, seats up there, and these are like the higher reptilians, the ones the pure bloods, and then you have the Nordics, the Aryans. They represent the Republicans. That they are the fallen angelic humans, and then you have the uh, the Democrats up there on the moon, and they are the fallen angelics. They are not. They don't have a human line. They just they're just fallen. The fallen angels. They just call them fallen angels. So they sit down on the moon and they make certain agreements up there, and it just get funneled down to the lower ones here on Earth, because you would know either side. If either side came down off their seat from the moon and came here, you would know something don't look right about them. Either side, because you would have even if it from the human line up there, the Aryan, the Luciferian. If that particular tall, blue-eyed, blonde hair came down here, you would know that he's not from here. You would clearly see he's not from here. They stand 7 to 8 feet tall up there, and they look almost like albino. up there, those particular Nordics. But they sit up there and decide things on the moon on their seats. And there's other representatives up there, and they have certain agendas. They have like their side agendas that they deal with other races up there that side with either the reptilians, the blue bloods, the Democrats on the moon, and they have others too. And all of them work with certain individuals of the Galactic Federation. You have positive Galactic Federations up there, these councils up there, and then you have more negative ones, and they have their agendas with their empires. But they don't deal with the humans down here. All this stuff get funneled from the moon to Earth, and then they have like their lower representatives here. So I don't think that the president here is just a figurehead. They don't run shit. I don't care who is in charge. I don't care who's in charge. Now that I have like more intel on that, they are nothing compared to the ones that sit up there in those seats up there on the moon. And that's why I tell people you have to get away from the government structure because it has to come down. It has to come down. Because these other positive races see that if it don't change, and even the Nordics are starting to see that if this don't change, um, Earth is going to run out of resources. It's going to run out of resources. Like if we don't get like the technologies to upgrade the planet, but keep things on a more spiritual human line, so that mankind can develop. But still, mankind has to go through certain disputes for their evolution. So it just can't all be positive the whole way through. We have to have certain things that would challenge us to make us better. That there has to be certain things that can elevate our consciousness until we understand it all. Even uh, certain disputes have always gone on throughout the galaxy and in interdimensional planes as well. There's always been disputes and disagreements and treaties that have been not respected, and they have been broken, and it has caused wars and conflict throughout the galaxy. And when you see certain things like that happen here on the planet, where there's like downright out war, that means that something has been broken, the agreement has been breached, and now it's gotten to the point where the fight is on for whatever reason to maintain or take over. So that's how it is with these particular races and certain disputes. And once it get down here, the once it get down here, it's better that it get down here than up there. And both sides just let it play out because what they're doing, and think of it like chess. When things don't work out up there and it gets funneled down here, that's when like the fight goes on. But the upper echelons, they don't want to um, have that fight up there because they look at us as like farm animals. They like, well, no, you may be my neighbor. Think of them like the farmers up there, and we like the animals down here. And that's no disrespect to the human race because we're far more than that. But when you have beings that have a caste system and they think of you as a resource, that's how they look at you, like you are a farm animal, and they want to keep the farm going, right? They want to keep the animals somewhat happy and content, and want to be on the farm, live on the farm, and continue to appease them. But farmers don't like fighting in front of the animals. they they like to take it to court, and that's how these upper ones do. They take that shit to court up there in front of different federations and councils up there, and then they try to work through shit on a galactic level, but it still gets funneled down here, and then they just let that fight play out. It's almost like you got two fathers up there, and we we are like the sons, like the presidents that represent these people up there. They're like their sons, and then they tell their sons, go kick his ass, son. And the other one be like, yeah, you go kick his ass. You show him how it's done. And that's how it is. They send the sons to go fight the dad's fight, which is crazy because, you know, and the fathers up there, they just watch. They just watch and made the best kid win. So, but that's what it's like up there, you know. And the little shit that we fight there here, we call those weapons. No, those are more like fist fights compared to the shit that they have up there. I don't care what type of cannons, what type of equipment we have down here. They keep it more or less. They make sure that if we do, is it's equal. You know, it's gonna be equal. If both fathers be like, well, oh, okay, he picked up a bat. Well, son, you go pick up a bat. And they keep the weapons, like when we fight with weapons down here, they keep the weapons on a human level equal. It's only when the kids step out of bounds with certain weapons that we have hidden, like with the back engineered technology. That's when the referees step in and they kind of you know get in the way of those weapons. And I've seen like crafts get in the way of certain weapons, and that has been fired because now you stepping out of bounds, and someone with that technology will come and check that shit like very quickly. But for the most part, they allow certain things to happen, and they see it as both sides see it as growth, even though it's subtle disputes. Like when we have certain disputes on our own, they um, engage with each other up there, and they kind of smile at those disputes because we're having these um, disagreements like on our own. That's not like being funneled down from them, and they see that as growth. They see it as change. And we, the humans, like the Christ beings, we're in the middle. We're in the middle, and we're watching, but we are deciding to. So they think that they're running stuff. Not really. They're not really, because on a higher spiritual level, we vibrate higher than them, and we only here for the lesson. That's it. Above any of those beings, even the ones on the moon, they cannot compare to the angelic human line. Okay, because they are the ones that have fallen. They fail. We are royalty here. And as soon as mankind wake up and see and step into their power, it all shuts down. we can shut them down because they do not hold any manifestation power. Okay, so they put the illusion of change in front of us. They put that in front of us. So when we grab on to the illusion, their illusion, we manifest what they want. So as soon as we stop voting for them, because they need our consent to even be here, they need our consent just to even fucking be here in this realm. This is a human realm. This is a school for souls to evolve, for the lessons of being human. But they both look later, guys. I'm gonna tell you about the king, um, the Anunnaki, the story, the true story. I'm gonna tell you guys because I remember it and how the Anunnaki and the reptilians fell out. I'm gonna tell you guys there was a king here. I'm not gonna do it now because it's a long story, but remind me to tell you about the Anunnaki royalty and the reptilians. And this was before the Dracos even came um into the picture. There was lower reptilians that used to roll with the Anunnaki. They had lower reptilians. And look, these are going to be the reptilians that will say that the planet belongs to them, that they were here before the humans. They were here before a certain human hybrid. They were here, but not before the original human, okay? Because both of them, the Elohim, started seeding this planet, and that created the first human line. Okay, that created for this planet. They became like the custodians of the planet. Um, but I'll get into all that stuff, man. It's gonna be deep, but it's gonna be worth me telling you uh, the whole damn thing. I'm gonna tell you guys the whole fucking thing of what happened and how all this drama started between the red and the blue. I'm gonna tell you guys like the whole damn history of what happened. Anyway, I love you guys, and I appreciate all of the new people that have come here and given me the opportunity to share this galactic journey. I know that you guys have your own galactic journey because you wouldn't be here if you didn't. You guys know what's going on. You feel it. You guys are like star seeds. We have been incarnating over and over to wake up the people that are stuck here because of that Christ light that we hold. It's in us to keep coming back. But this, we have to like do our jobs and then be out. This is going to be my last incarnational cycle. There's going to be others that come here and incarnate and continue that process because there's other beings up there right now and they are waiting their turn to come down here and incarnate into different forms. And it has, guys, look, it has nothing to do with color. It's nothing. That's just the vehicle. The bodies that we choose those bodies. We choose certain experience. But when we get here, we have to go into that forgetfulness state so that we can like be fair at growth. We have to be fair at growth, and then we fight in stages to remember who we are, and that also helps us in this the process of learning and awakening. And that process is going to be hard, but it's a beautiful process. So we have to enjoy that process. Everything has stages, and we are part of that great stage And we're going to keep taking those steps all the way back to who we really are. But we're learning as we go. Okay, I got to go. I love you. Stay safe. And I'm always with you. Have a good day.